جايين من كل مكان للصويرة زينة البلدان نزورو ونرجع فرحان كالضبيل وللهيلولة حوض السلاح وثوم حيلة نضربو شوفار هاد الليلة.
With the permission of Hashem, we are now few days before Tisha B'Av. As we know, Tisha B'Av is the day that the temple was destroyed. So, a month before Tisha B'Av, we start already mourning for the destruction of Beit HaMikdash. And of course, the day of Tisha B'Av, it's a special day that we sit on the floor and we cry for the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash with the hope that Hashem will send us Mashiach, Be'ezat Hashem, and He will build again the Beit HaMikdash. This is our emunah. The question that I have is, I remember when I was young, when I was a baby, when I was a 5-year-old, 6, 7, 8, 9, I remember at that time we used to feel the destruction of Beit HaMikdash. In Morocco, in Essaouira, where I was born, it was incredible. There was no house that people they were not crying. There were really people sitting on the floor. I remember I was so scared that week of Tisha B'Av, especially the day of Tisha B'Av. The feeling was completely different than today. Today we don't feel the destruction of Beit HaMikdash like before. Bemet, I do not understand why. What's the difference? I mean, you eat chicken. You know the taste of the chicken. The taste of the chicken never change, except the way it's cooked. The way it's cooked, that can make a difference. But the destruction of Beit HaMikdash, it was the same. We're talking about the same Beit HaMikdash for all generations, for all years. So what's the difference between then and now? On Pesach as well. My memories, if they are fresh, I remember how we were very, very poor people. When I was young, our Pesach was a simple Pesach. It was not a Pesach of rich people. It was really a clean house, and the dishes were simple, and the food was really, really poor food. But the emunah was big. The emunah was tremendous, big, big, big. We could swallow the stories of Pesach, of the exit of Egypt. It was completely different than today. Today there is so many books, thousands of books, talking about Pesach, all kind of explanation. You can have all kind of lectures, CDs, talking about Pesach. And when it comes to Pesach, you don't feel the same sensation that we had before. The question is, what is this? What's the difference? It's the same Pesach that we had a few years ago, and it's the same Pesach today. Way before, you feel it, and today, if we did not eat the matzah, we will not see the difference between Pesach and the rest of the year. I mean, we feel it a little bit, not as before. So this is my question. What the difference then and now? That's what I was thinking this week. So there is a story in the Gemara. The Gemara tells us that when the temple was destroyed, there were some rabbis. They started to talk about Mashiach, when Mashiach is going to come. So the rabbis, most of the rabbis, they were not happy about those rabbis who were talking about Mashiach. when he's gonna come. So the Gemara asks why? Why not? Why not to talk about Mashiach? Why the rabbis, they were not happy about some other rabbis that they were talking about Mashiach? Why? And the Gemara gave an answer. The answer was a beautiful answer. Because he gave like an example. Like a father who left his town walking to another town, and it's going to take him 1 week, of traveling. He took with him his child. And as soon that they walk out from the city, his child, he asked his father, Papa, when we going to arrive to the town? And the father told him, are you crazy? We just left our town, our city. No, it's not now. Just we left. Are you crazy? It's a long way. A few hours later, again he asked him, Papa, when are we going to arrive? Are you crazy? We just left the city. It take a long way. Every day ask him, and every day the father tell him shout. He shout him. He said, are you crazy? But after 7 days of traveling, the son, he asked his father, Papa, wow, so when we going to arrive? Now you can ask me. Now we approach. In a few hours we will arrive. So the Gemara said, the Talmud said, when Mashiach was destroyed, when the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed, that was a long way to go to the exile. That was not the time to ask when he's going to come. But now, after a few thousand years in exile, now we approach Mashiach. Now we can talk about Mashiach. That's what the Gemara said. So now, really, we can talk about Mashiach. When I was thinking this. I remember 40 years ago, 50 years ago, my father used to talk all the time about Mashiach. And he believed so much that Mashiach is going to come. So every time he talk. So he passed away. And Mashiach did not come. But the emunah that the Mashiach is going to come, it should be always stronger and stronger. I have to tell you something. There is a big difference between then and today. Then, we used to feel the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash. Why we felt so much the destruction of Beit HaMikdash? Why? Because then it was, I'm sorry to tell you this, we live in a very, very poor situation. The levels of then and today are not the same. Then we had a lot of time. Our mind was not occupied. Look, today you have telephones, iPhones, planes. Today, cars, you travel, house, bills. Then, people did not have too much to think about, so they only talk about Pesach. They only talk, there was no television, nothing. Then our mind was completely empty. I remember in Essaouira, we had nothing to talk about. There was no newspapers, no television, nothing. So we talk, when Pesach come, so we talk only about Pesach. That was the news. The news of the year was Pesach. The news of the year was Sukkot. The news of the year was Chanukah. That was the news of the year. So that before, we felt it. The news of the year was Tisha B'Av. So we feel Tisha B'Av. Unfortunately today, already people prepare holidays. At the time there was no holidays. People, they stay where they were all life. There was no traveling. There was not going to Spain or going to Eilat or going to, Costa Brava, Costa Rica. There was nothing to think about. I remember all our mind was where the whole world was the same. Unfortunately, today, people they go on vacation for Pesach. They already prepare vacation. So today, this is the reason why today we don't feel the same as before. Because of the situation of today. And that's why as well, today, we don't, our mind was, it's today so much occupied, so we don't feel. So look, now, this week it's Tisha B'Av. People already traveling. People even travel on the day of Tisha B'Av for vacation. People today, they are on vacation on Tisha B'Av. I am in Canada. You see people brown. They go to get some sun. It hardly you see people talking about Tisha B'Av. They will talk about Tisha B'Av on the day of Tisha B'Av, and then after they go to sleep, and then that's it. The big mitzvah is, I have to tell you this, anyone who feels Tisha B'Av today, his reward is big than the reward of people that they did Tisha B'Av before. Because at that time, it's like a lotto. There is a difference between somebody who become rich because he won the lotto, than somebody he work hard to make money and to become rich. The one who won the lotto, he may lose the money the same way he won them. But the one who made money very hard, he worked very hard, he will not lose them easily, because he knows that money got it very, very hard. So he will not lose it. Today, before it was a lotto, we feel Pesach. It's like a lotto because it was normal. We feel Tisha B'Av. We feel everything was normal. It's like winning the lotto because we had no other alternative just to think about it. There was no other occupation. So it was very, very easy to feel Pesach, to feel Tisha B'Av, to feel all kinds of. But today, that it's so hard to feel because of the technology of today. Today, our mind, it's so, we don't even have time to take care of our children. We don't even have time to take care about ourselves. Always occupy money, occupy holidays, occupy this, buy furniture, buying a car, searching this, searching that, news. Today, people, they watch their iPhone at least 5 hours a day. At least every minute they have. I promise you yesterday, somebody, I told him, you put tefillin. He told me, I have no time. I said, how can you have no time? Another one, he said, I told him, you study Torah, I have 5 minutes. I have no time. Why? You have time to eat, you have time to stock, you have time to get married, you have time to make money, you have time to go holiday, you have time, and for 5 minutes Torah you don't have time. For Hashem will give you all his time and you don't have a time for him? How it's possible? Well, this is the life of today. Our life today is so complicated. It should be today so easy, and it's so complicated because of the situation that we live on today. And that's why the reward of today that Hashem can give to somebody that he feel Pesach, because it's a big work. On the one hand, we have everything easy to do. On the other hand, our mind is so much occupied. I'm telling you, people don't have even no time for the education of the children. When they wake up, it's too late. When they saw that the children already they're on drugs, the children already they're with a Goya, it's too late. It's too late. You know, I hear problems all day. All the time I hear problems. I know what's going on today in the world. Because people have no time to take care. They have no time. They don't talk. You see today in every room, there is a television. Every room, the son had her own telephone. So there is no time to talk. There is no time to eat together. Baruch Hashem, there is Shabbat. At least on Shabbat, the family are united. But for those who don't keep Shabbat, so every Shabbat they are not united. They're strange. They live in the same house as a strange people. Why? Because the technology today. You know, I saw in the paper, in a newspaper, the biggest mistake that it was a big one of I'm not allowed to tell the name. Some who invented the new technology that I don't want to tell you what kind of technology. It's that the new technology divided the family. And this is true. You can use the new technology for good things. It's superb, spectacular. But unfortunately people, they use it for other purpose, other bad things. And that's it. So this is the reason why today we don't feel the destruction of Beit HaMikdash like before. Or because, well, our mind is so much occupied, so we have no time. So, okay, but on Tisha B'Av we sit on the floor, or we cry, that's it, for a few minutes and that's it. This is the difference between then and today. Or, this is about the bigger reward that Hashem can give you, that even the technology of today, even that you might so much occupied, and really you could not have time to, and you do all what you can to sit on the floor, to cry, to feel, to connect yourself what happened. Because don't forget, we lost something that was very important for the Jewish people, the temple. Once we were all united in Israel, when we had a problem, we knew where to go. Emunah, the faith on Hashem, there is two kinds of emunah. There is a emunah that yes, I'm Jewish, I wake up Jew, everything is okay. But there is a deeper emunah. You think what it is emunah, a connection. There is sometimes you can listen to a lecture, but you are not connected to the lecture. After the lecture, you remember nothing. You don't even know what that rabbi was talking about, but because there was no connection. And there is no connection that you hear, you listen, and after the lecture, you take some conclusions, you take some learning, you take something that it's good for you. So, my friend, this is as well. Emunah and emunah. But a emunah with connection with Hashem can lead you to feel Pesach, can lead you to feel everything. Baruch Hashem, me, David Pinto, I have nothing to do with all what I have to do, but I know how to divide. Pesach for me is Pesach. I leave everything on one side. Focus about Pesach. Tisha B'Av, I talk only about Tisha B'Av. I focus to myself what it is Tisha B'Av. I mean, it's a work that I have to do. I mean, I am like you. Don't think I'm superstar. I'm somebody special. No, I am a human being like everybody. But I will not take the virus on me. You know, today the big problem today, in the new technology, this kind of cyber virus, that you can go to the computer and destroy everything. You know, the body is like a computer. The body, you have the mind, you have the foot, you have the heart, you have everything. I mean, especially the brain. And there is the Yetzer Hara, there is a virus. So I have to keep my body from that kind of virus. Otherwise, the virus can destroy my body. And then I will become completely in the hand of the Yetzer Hara. I will become another man. That's it. The virus will destroy me. I have to, so I will not feel Tisha B'Av, I will not feel Pesach, I will feel nothing. It will be for me just something normal. Something that, nothing to care about. Well, it's a custom that my parents did Pesach. But did your parents feel Pesach like you feel it today? Well, the answer will be, well, the time changed. No, the time has never changed. For thousands of years, it was the same. Why only in your generation? Why? Because our generation, we live the new technology, the new life today. So exactly today, we know there is a virus. Today we know what a virus, the cyber, can do to a computer. Can you imagine one day, God forbid, could happen something incredible? You know what? One day, this cyber virus, it can destroy all computers. We can have problems in the plane, electricity, and the water, the banks. This is the war. The world war is not going to be the bomb atomic, the nuclear arms. Today the nuclear arms, everybody has it. Today the big war is every nation want to get inside the secret of the other country, like Russia against America, America against Russia, Russia against China, and etc., etc. This is the world war, the war road free. It's going to be a technology war, and that is the worst, because God forbid, it's going to be very, 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 very hard. So I take this example for the human being. The human being, he's like a city. He's like the world. He has everything in his body. Everything function with the brain, the heart, everything. But we have to be careful from that kind of virus that can destroy our spiritual life and make us not to feel nothing at all. So this is Tisha B'Av about. Tisha B'Av is to remember what happened, to feel what happened. When Pesach comes, to feel what happened to our parents, and to feel a good Pesach. Everything you have to feel it, and not to take it like, well, time change. My friend, the prophet, they asked a question: why the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed? And the prophet came to a conclusion, because the Jewish people, al-Uzvan Torati, that means they did mitzvot, they studied Torah, but they didn't feel it. They didn't feel it inside themselves. So, can you imagine? We're talking today about a few thousand years ago, that there was no technology, there was no television, there was no holidays. I mean, how they did not feel the Torah? So my answer today is that, I'm sorry to tell you this, I come to a conclusion. So I come to a conclusion that to feel the Torah, to feel the Emunah inside yourself, it's a work. It's a big work. That means now I want to come to a conclusion. Even before when the Beit HaMikdash was built, Hashem gave to the Bnei Israel so much energy. They saw so many miracles. They saw They were spoiled. Hashem like he spoiled them. They won wars. There were 10 miracles in Beit HaMikdash. They saw their life was supernatural. You have no imagination. For the 100 years that they lived in Israel, the whole world was afraid of them. Just imagine the kingdom of the King David, the kingdom of the King Solomon, the kingdom of even the Second Temple, Alexander the Great. He respected the Beit HaMikdash. But, unfortunately, the Jewish people, they got used to all that good things that Hashem gave them. So they became against Hashem. So what Hashem did, he destroyed the Beit HaMikdash. The Jewish people, they went to exile. So they lost everything. So now that they lost everything, they started to mourn. They started to cry about the past. This is Beit HaMikdash. Beit HaMikdash, since it was destroyed, our pain is to have pain about all what we lost, all what it was granted, all what we got free from Hashem, we lost it. That was Beit HaMikdash. But unfortunately, that's what we feel all the time, the missing of Beit HaMikdash. But unfortunately today, we have everything again. So again, we're spoiled. Today, you have everything. 2 telephones. Today, everything is in your hand. So again, it's worse today. We are in exile, and we miss the Beit HaMikdash. We should miss Beit HaMikdash, and unfortunately, we don't miss it. We don't feel it. Why? Because today we have everything. So that's no good. So this is the reason that today we have to do. Of course, people they don't know. People, unfortunately, they don't know. Of course, so that we have to, this week I've been talking like I talk to you in some synagogues and some by houses of some friends, and they were shocked. They told me, Rabbi, we did not know all this. So I understand them. So I told them, well, now that you know, you have to do something. So now, my friend, we learn for all this lecture that I'm telling you, how much every one of us should connect himself to know well the story, what happened then, and what we miss. Because today we live so much material, so we don't feel what we miss. We don't feel exactly what happened to our parents when they were a few thousand years ago, when they were in Israel with the Beit HaMikdash. They lived so well, they had everything, and they did not miss the goodness that Hashem gave them. So Hashem had to punish them, to feel what they lost, it's like they were living with the lotto, and they did not work hard to get that money, that feeling, that life that they had thousands of years ago. So Hashem had to destroy twice the Beit HaMikdash, the temple, to feel what now they are missing. But unfortunately, that's what we feel all this for a few thousand years, and suddenly lately we don't feel it. Because again, we live in good, and it's like today, it's like somebody told me, Rabbi, what we need Mashiach for? What we need the temple for? We have everything today. We have Israel, we live in America, we have everything. I have my own plane. I looked at him. I think because you are talking like that, that's what we need Mashiach. Because Mashiach, when he comes, he will teach you what you are missing. Material, you don't miss nothing. But spiritual, you miss everything. And that's why we need Mashiach for. And this is what the Rambam said. Rambam said, what Mashiach can bring us for goodness. And the Rambam said, what Mashiach will bring, he will bring something. What? The knowledge. He will bring that he will teach us that there is Hashem. Because without Hashem, there is something missing. Well, this is what I have to tell you about what we're expecting in a few days, Tisha B'Av. And Be'ez Hashem, always we have the Emunah and Hashem, that Be'ez Hashem Mashiach will come, and the Be'ez Hashem, everything will be good, please God. You know, I have to finish this first episode with something. I have a best friend, one of my best friends. He's about 71, 72 year old. He's a very sportive man, very strong man, very good man, really. Every time I go to Morocco, a few years ago, he used to give me his house. I'm shocked. Since 1 week, I'm thinking about him. Last Thursday, he went to, he's a very wealthy man, he's a very good man, a good family. His name is Jack Shriki. I think he's even he's a family with my parents. He was our neighbors 55 years ago in Casablanca. We were very, very good friends. And he was a little bit tired. His wife, she told him, go to have a sauna, enjoy yourself. You know, so he went to the sauna. In the meantime, his wife, she went to bed. It was 10 o'clock. At 3 o'clock at night, the maid came to, she knocked at the door of the couple. And the woman woke up, yes, I see the light in the sauna. Yeah, where's your husband? So she said, he's not here. They went downstairs and he was dying in the sauna. He was in the sauna for 5 hours. He was cooked. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what? Can you imagine how the scream that the wife screamed when she saw her husband? Cooked after 5 hours in the sauna. Can you imagine that? That is something that she will never forget. Well, why I tell you this? When you think about the Shoah it's something that you go to Auschwitz and you see what the Germans did there. You become crazy. You don't understand how human beings did what they did. And they burned them, they killed them, they gassed them, they filled them full of bullets. You cannot imagine what they did to them. Well, when you think about the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash, it was even worse. So that is something that we should not forget. That's something sometimes HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we see things. Unfortunately, the Jewish life was never been easy for us. It's very expensive. It's very, 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 very. It's a big price that you have to pay to be Jew, but it's worth it. Our emunah is based on that. There is something that we don't know why. Why that happened? Why the Shoah? Why this? Only Hashem has answers. But the most important is to live with this, not to forget. You know, people today, they want to try, a lot of nations, they want to tell you, no, there was never Shoah. Nothing happened to Auschwitz. It's just, people, they want, people, they want, there is proof. But still, a lot of nations, they want to, no, it's not true, because they want us to forget that. But Yizkor, we're not allowed to forget. We're not allowed to forget the Shoah. We're not allowed to forget nothing. And that's why sometimes Hashem, He bring on the table things that happen to remind you. Don't forget. And by not forgetting, but unfortunately a lot of people, they start not to believe in God because of what happened. This is the work. But you know what? I have no answer when they ask me, Rabbi, why this happened? Why? I say, look, the only answer I can give you, I'm still here. Baruch Hashem, Am Yisrael Hai. Baruch Hashem. Sheldon, you here. I'm here. Baruch Hashem. This is the most important. I know what happened. I should never forget. My Judaism is to live with what happened and to remain a good Jew. To live. The Beit HaMikdash was destroyed. I'm still here. I was in Rome a few months ago. I went to the Ark of Titus. When I saw the Ark, that Ark, they built it when he destroyed the temple. You see in the Ark of Titus, the menorah. I started to talk to the Ark. I said, Titus, I don't know where you are, but I know one thing. You don't exist, but I exist. I'm still here. I see the menorah. You thought that you took the menorah, but the menorah, we still light it every year. In every synagogue there is a menorah. So you lost. 1-0. Not only you, all people like you, they lost. Hitler lost. Anyone who wanted to do like you, they all lost. We're here. It's a price that we paid. But to make it a good price is not to forget. Not to forget. Not to forget. The Shoah, not to forget what happened to the Jewish people all their life, and to live with it, and to live happy. There is no contradiction. I lost my father, I lost my mother, and Baruch Hashem, I'm a happy man. I don't live with crying all my life. No, I cried, and I live my life, and I'm happy. And the day of the anniversary of my father and my mother, I connect myself to them, and the life goes on. Baruch Hashem. So Baruch Hashem, more or less, we understand the difference between then and today. And Be'ezat Hashem, every one of us should do his best to feel the destruction of Beit HaMikdash. He should focus, he should give to himself a few minutes to focus, to think what happened. Otherwise, he will just go to synagogue, he will sit on the floor, he will think about the temple and his destruction, he will think about everything, and then after he will forget. But the main thing is to feel it, to really feel what we missed. Can you imagine there is somebody who asked me, a friend who asked me, Mr. Sheldon, he asked me a beautiful question. He said, what does that mean? Elokai ve'Elokei Avotai. When we do the Amidah, I say, my God and the God of my parents. If He is my God, of course He is the God of my parents. I mean, why Elokai v'Elokei Avotai? I mean, we are talking about Avraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov. So why Elokai is my God? The answer is Hashem. Avraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov, they worked so hard to discover Hashem. It was not easy for them. They were against the whole world at their generation. Because their generation, people were, they used to do idolatry, Avodah Zarah. They believed that the sun was God, the moon was God. It was not easy. Avraham and Yitzhak had to fight against everybody. It was not easy. It was very, very hard. And Baruch Hashem, after we received the Torah, the Jewish nation was built. Now it's easy for us to believe in God because everything was perfect. Everything was prepared with the Abraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov, etc., etc. So when I come now to pray to Hashem, I said, Elokai. But at that moment I have to think, hey, David, you're talking to Hashem. Is it the same Hashem that Abraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov discovered? You are praying like that. And that's why when I say Elokai, I connect myself in my prayer that I'm praying to Hashem, the one that Abraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov, they were connected to. Because a lot of times people, they just pray without thinking. They do the Amidah and they say no. When you start to do the Amidah, they remind you, hey, you are in front of Hashem. You are praying to Hashem. You are connected yourself to Hashem. Hey, do you do the Amidah to Hashem, the one that Avraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov discovered? Or just you are talking, you are praying just like that? Thanks God today. We won the lotto because Abraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov, they did the big work for us. Today it's easy for us to believe in Hashem because the big work, it was done with Abraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov. So this is the reason why when we do the Amidah, we say Elokai, my God. I'm praying to Hashem, the one that He was the Hashem of Abraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov. That's no change. He's the same. My friend, well, when Tisha B'Av come, we have to feel Tisha B'Av. When Pesach come, we have to feel Pesach. I know, it's not easy. We live in a generation of technology, we have no time. We have no, as I said, but still, it's a work that's to be done. Okay? So, all the best. God bless you.